pair something that's, if you pair something that is enjoyable with something that's less enjoyable, it makes it more likely you'll engage in the behavior that is less enjoyable. So for me, discipline is not my strength at all. So what I do is I try to pair the things that I don't enjoy, like exercising. I hate exercising, but I try to do the treadmill. So I have a system where I only do the treadmill. I only watch Netflix when I'm doing the treadmill. So I have these series that I would love to binge watch, but I can watch them when I'm on the treadmill, and that gets me on the treadmill, and it makes it a little more enjoyable. So it breaks down that barrier for me a little bit of kind of like, if something's this difficult for me to do, I try to lower the negative component of it as much as I can, or maybe bring up the positive component or something to kind of get me there. And another thing I'll do is just break down tasks into really small pieces and start just one step. Because I notice that once I start, I kind of get into a zone sometimes. And that helps me kind of say, oh, I'm going to do this one. Okay, I'll do this one. So I'm just going to pay one bill. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll pay another one. And maybe I'll do another one. Or maybe I'll do another, and then it'll kind of get me through it. But when I start small with zero expectations of myself, I seem to work a little bit better. I try not to put a lot of pressure on myself saying, oh, I got to do all this right now. I break it down into smaller steps. If it's something that I'm afraid of, like you said, fear the what ifs, that's when I pause and I try to do, I do a little self-regulation exercise, and it's stop, breathe, reflect, choose. So it's like I just stop sign, because I can feel when my anxiety starts to go up. So clearly something's scaring me and I don't know what it is. So maybe it's like, say I want to make a video for a social media site. That terrifies me. And so with that, I stop and I take a deep breath and I blow it out really slowly like that. And that forces the oxygen into my lungs and it kind of calms me down. And then I reflect. I'm like, okay, what are you afraid of? What's scaring you? And sometimes it's like, well, what if I make a mistake? Or what if I say something ridiculous, which I tend to do a lot, which is part of who I am.
I'm sure that's not the case.
Yeah, and or what if it's received poorly, or people don't like it, or people don't like me, or people, I don't know. There's so many, there's so much anxiety there. And I have a hard time when, like if you receive all the negative comments or things like that, it's like, I know how that's going to make me feel. So I'm reflecting and I'm saying, okay, what am I afraid of? And I'll actually, instead of listing my goals, sometimes I just list down my fears and then I challenge them in my mind. And then I choose, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it right now? And usually 9 times out of 10, I choose to do it. Or sometimes when the anxiety is just really overwhelming and it's just something's happening that I can't seem to figure out, then I choose, okay, I need to pause and I need to go for a walk or do something to lower the anxiety so I can get myself back into what they call wise mind, which is a part of one of the treatments that I work with. Wise mind, it's kind of a balance of, emotion and rational mind, but, to get to a state where I can actually do whatever task I need to do. And I'm in the right mind headspace to do it. But I use it a lot, the self-regulation, if it's something I'm scared of. If it's just those routine things like doing the dishes, doing the laundry, doing this, doing that, those things I try to pair with something that I enjoy that isn't ice cream. Because,
Well, may I add something, Miss Arlene?
Sure. I didn't see you.
All right now. And how you doing, Miss Kim and Mr. Ron?
Hello.
All right. For me, for getting unstuck, it's tough for me sometimes because it's like, how am I going to be perceived? Like I'm writing a book, poetry book called A Conscious Food for Thought. And like, it's like, how am I going to be perceived that I'm not in the perfect place? Well, for lack of a better word, I'm not in, like I'm still picking up the pieces of my life, you know what I mean? So it's like, my biggest excuse is finding when to start. Like, dang, okay, should I start once I got this out the way, or once I got that out the way, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just so I guess procrastination is on my plate right now.
It's on all of our plates except for Rod's. Don't worry, we're all in the process. Most of us haven't arrived yet. We're on the journey. You know, we were on a call last night, and there was another young lady who was sharing her challenges, and she was very upset because she hadn't gotten there yet. Kind of like you, she hadn't gotten there yet. And the message is that, you know, this is not a destination kind of thing. It's, you know, a journey, and we're supposed to enjoy the journey as we take these incremental steps to accomplishing our end goal. And that's why I'm always talking about getting unstuck and, you know, the challenges that I have, so that people know that it's not like we go from 0 to 100 and now I'm, you know, living my best life forever in this stationary spot, but it's I'm continuing to live my best life day by day. And it's a challenge, and I have to be conscious. And hi, Gigi, I just wanted to say we see you on. That's one of our partners as well.
Gigi Solomon, right?
Yeah, she's listening on Facebook. So I just wanted to acknowledge you. Okay, somebody else wanted to comment on what Dennis said.
Well, yeah. So on that note, I believe you know, just utilizing courage to push through my fear will help me to get unstuck.
Okay, can I say something what Kim said?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kim, what you said is the negative thoughts about social media, negative comments. I think that's the best comment you'll ever get.
The negative comments?
Yep.
You said negative comments are the best comments you'll ever get.
How so?
Yes, how so?
Tell me about that, because I want this.
Tell us both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell all of us about that. All of us.
I do.
Everybody watches the news because they want to see what's negative. That means people are watching you. They're busy following you. You're creating an audience.
But what about the comments where they, you know, where it's like, you know, I don't know, she's so dumb, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's, you know, those kinds of things like that.
Fantastic. They still follow you.
Okay. So I understand what you're saying, Ron. You're saying that it's important for us to have conversation. So it creates oh, there's Marcia. Hi, Marcia. We'd love to have you join us. Marcia is another amazing, she says negative comments are a feedback. Okay, so negative comments give us feedback, and it's good to get feedback. I suppose it's better to have some feedback than to have none. But I think I certainly prefer to have some positive feedback rather than negative.
No. Donald Trump said, the more people speak about me, the more votes I'm going to get. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, because they're speaking.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say, and I appreciate what you're saying, because this is a former president of the United States.
It doesn't matter. I'm just using him as a speaker. If you listen to what Grant Cardone says, anybody that wants to give me a negative comment, I've already said that to myself in the mirror. So it doesn't make any difference.
Stop it.
Okay.
I've already said that.
So all of a sudden, you've already said that to yourself. It doesn't matter. Other people is just, all I want is 0.00001% of the people of the world to follow me. Not everybody's going to like what I say. But if they follow me, that's also okay with their negative comments.
Can I just tell you what's going on in my brain right now?
Please.
Yep.
Because something's going on. Okay, so if you look at comments, I used to think of it as before, like today, positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. So I'm balanced. But what you're saying is it's not positive, negative. It's just comment, 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 comment. Doesn't positive, negative is like a non-factor. It's more like it's just comments.
It's only comments. It's immaterial. It's still followers.
Well, I think that's a very
Yeah.
interesting and healthy way of thinking about it. That if you can
Just comments.
yeah, if you can receive those negative comments like Grant Cardone or like what's his name, Donald Trump, then they're like water off a duck's back. If, however, you're more challenged and you have a desire to receive positive comments and to be built up and to be encouraged, then perhaps it may be a little bit more challenging to receive those comments and not internalize them. Hi, Giselle.
No.
Giselle is
Hey,
on
Giselle.
as well, and I want to acknowledge her. Hi, Giselle. Take off your mute. Giselle is actually in Abu Dhabi. And she's a partner in Abu Dhabi. Yes, and she does branding. So I want to
Arlene,
pardon?
so can I just elaborate on the negative comments?
Sure.
I was doing a course on the National Credit Act in South Africa. And a person turned around and wrote a letter and says, how can I be working with a person who's dyslexic, trying to be somebody who's not, and he hasn't even finished his school by training people on the act. I then used that negative comment and I've done a Facebook Live. And everybody turning to me and says, I'm dyslexic, how did you do that? So I took the negatives, put it onto social media to show other people, if I stand what my ground is, other people will come forward. I've got other people and parents coming to me and says, thank you for that. I was scared to come out. So your negative comments, by commenting on the negative comments, to turn it into a positive, will make other people aware to follow you even more.
So I think it's great if we can do that and take those negatives, internalize them and turn them around and build on them and turn them into something positive. I think it's awesome if we can. However, most of us tend to react to negative comments. and so it's great if we don't, but many of us do react to negative comments. And if you've gotten a negative comment and you're listening and you felt hurt or you felt offended by a negative comment, what Ron is saying is that it's more advantageous if we can turn it around and use it as fuel. I know many people on this journey of business success too, they've gotten into the business and they're fueled by their competitors. They're fueled by the sometimes a negative vitriol of others, or there's something that happened in the past that made you angry. And so you started your own company because you wanted to push this particular thing. So I can definitely see how what Ron's saying, which is that you can take a negative and turn it into a positive, use it as fuel to push you or to support you. I can definitely see that. That can make sense. And it's certainly something that we can all endeavor to do and endeavor to embody, where we don't allow the negative they say, don't be a sneop, don't be susceptible to the negative influences of other people. But if you are on the other side of the spectrum, so we have coaches here who are all about, listen, this is what life has given to you. You've been given some lemons, you make lemonade. And then we also have a therapist on the line who comes from the perspective of, if you are challenged by those negative words, then these are some things that you might want to do, or these are some tools or techniques that you may want to use in order to shift it if it is affecting you. So Dr. Kim, what do you want to say about that?
I actually have a question real quick for Ron. Ron, have you ever gotten a comment that did shut you down? Like just really made you, like that comment where you go, and it's just, it hurts. And then what did you do? If you have, what did you do to?
Very simple. It says, thank you very much for that comment. What would you do differently? What I said, what would you do differently? Can you give me your opinion why you said that?
So you kind of put it back on
You
them.
play it back.
Because I'm thinking of.
So what we're saying is, so sometimes doing a Facebook Live and you get a person that throws a negative comment. Well, Ron will say, hey, Arlene, I don't like your show. And Arlene will say, Ron, fantastic. Why didn't you like my show? What do you think I must do differently? Because maybe that can help me out. All of a sudden, it makes them embarrassed, or the person embarrassed who gave you that negative comment, because you bring them into the light of the conversation. And because sometimes they see things that we don't see, we always think we're right. But sometimes it's that negative comment to take us through to the next threshold to make us better.
I mean, I love that response, and I'm going to try it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also thinking in my mind, sometimes what happens is we get a comment that for, each individual, we have things that we react to more than others. And sometimes we just get flooded. So if a comment comes in that's, really negative, and our emotions kind of flood, our anxiety goes up, we feel overwhelmed. Oftentimes, especially for people who maybe struggle with anxiety, you'll notice that what they do is they don't necessarily check their comments, or they don't check their email, or they don't watch their video, because they don't want to feel that. That feeling is so uncomfortable. And it's not, oh, this hurts. It's like, I feel like I'm dying, because their body is going into this fight or flight reaction. And it could be based on trauma. It could be based on just their temperament. But so for you to be able to say, wow, thank you for that comment, tell me what I could be doing differently, I think is amazing. And actually, I'm totally going to use that and practice that, because I feel like once you practice something, you get better at it. And being able to say that it's a skill. It's definitely a skill to be able to override those emotional structures in your brain that are screaming danger, 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 and say, wow, thank you for that comment. But at the same time, I know that there's a lot of people who that comment, the negative comments are just so debilitating. And, on my mind, and what I would do is, again, use the stop, breathe, reflect, and choose kind of situation to bring down that anxiety, that fear that comes up. But yeah, it's like in the moment, I'm fascinated. I mean, I love that response, and I'm trying to think how I can guide people to use something similar to that when they're on this panic moment of these because the comments can be so negative and so hurtful and so crushing that you physically feel yourself kind of like break on the inside.
You see, and that's why and Kim, and that's why the 2% of the billionaires is where they are, because they don't care what people say. They work through the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to walk around the challenge, walk through it, and never make it personal. By making it personal, it's making it worse. Rather accept, take that challenge, because life is too short to be upset of changing what you want to achieve in your life because of one negative comment.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. So Giselle says, yes, it's called emotional intelligence, and we need that. And it is good if we can take those negative comments and we can, turn it around, as I said, and take the lemons and make lemonade. However, from a practical perspective, I do know that these comments at times do affect people. So in my life, as you know, I'm a business owner, and I worked in politics for many years, and it's a very dog eat dog kind of concept. And you mentioned Donald Trump. I heard him speak at the Jacob Javits in New York. It was a $1,000 a plate event. And he said, get them before they get you. So his comments were, not only should you receive the negativity, but you should be dishing it out in floods before it's dished at you. So I think one of the things that we're cultivating here through my television program, the Ask Arlene Show, is this concept that, yes, there is life coaching. Yes, there is therapy. There is hope. There is a community. And through our mastermind group, that there is a community where you can come and have the salve put on you and be supported and feel uplifted and not have to deal so much with the negativisms of what's going on out there, but that this is a safe community. So just in the fact that we have these communities, these mastermind calls where we're supporting people, it basically says that people need support and that we need this salve and that we need this safe space. Whereas if the negative things weren't affecting us, then there would be no need for a safe space ever, because we're all safe all the time and constantly being flooded by positive material. So we know, even though the negative material does sell, so as you shared, the people watch the news because it is sensational. Well, we also know that some of us don't watch the news because we really don't want that negative side. So yes, we'll read the essentials or read the storylines or get the content, but many of us are actually training our clients and the people that we support, that we want to grow and we want to uplift. Don't watch all of that negative news. Like if you're sitting there and you're watching 24/7, oh, thousands of people are dying today and more dying tomorrow, then you're focusing on the death and dying, as opposed to focusing on something that's going to be more illuminating, something that's going to be more helpful for you. So I always share with my clients, I say, wherever energy goes, energy flows. So if we're focused on that negative, then that's more of what's going to come to us. So yes, some people are poised to receive it. And if you're that kind of person and you can handle it and you can position it well, awesome, do it. But if you're the type of person that is affected by the negativisms of others, then I would say don't read your negative press. Don't read that negative mail. Especially some of us are business owners and we're online. If somebody sends you something and it's not something that's uplifting or supportive on your journey, then don't read it. Don't internalize that. Focus on the things that are going to give you life, that are going to give you hope, that are going to support you, that are going to push you to want to do more of the good, positive, clean things that you're doing. And we have another comment here. It says, if there was only good news in the world, would you watch the news? Well, I'm not one of the people that watches the news anyway, so I'm gonna put that out to some of the other people on the mastermind. But that's one of the very reasons why I don't watch it. I believe in cultivating the good, the pure, the clean, the things that are going to enrich and illuminate me. And from the teachers and greats that I have studied and investigated, those are the people that I pattern and try to be more like. So yeah, there are great people who are doing great things, who are not internalizing the negative, but they receive it. But if you're one of those people that has challenges with that, then I would say just don't tune into that and don't give that any energy. And what other comments do I have here? Okay, so everybody on here has overcome fears and gotten unstuck. They've had challenges along the way. And that's one of the reasons why they're part of this mastermind group. So we have only 2 minutes left before we go. Any last words before we close out for today? We were talking about how to move forward from procrastination and getting things done. And somehow we slide it into not allowing those negative words to also stunt your growth or to hinder your progress in your business project or endeavor.
Arlene, can I come in with procrastination?
And I definitely want to hear from you before you log out, Giselle. So go ahead.
You know, everybody procrastinates in some form of way. And as I said, I've written the book on procrastination because I'm a big procrastinator. I will do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. I promise you I'll do it tomorrow. You know, that is me. But since you've got an accountability partner to work with, and you can look at somebody to work with your challenges. And since I've been working with Noble Goldman with accountability partners, you have got a commitment to somebody. You're accountable to somebody. And that has helped me a lot overcoming procrastination. So if you know how to, if you don't like to do those things, but you've got a person that's going to go to gym with, or they're going to do that 5 kilometer or 10,000 steps.
5K step challenge, yes. For those of you that are not aware, we have a 5,000 step per day challenge. Join us because we're walking every day 5,000 steps. So make sure you click on that at www.askarleneshow.com and let us work with you, because what Ron is saying is absolutely on point. If you have a partner to work with you and accomplishing some goal that you're trying to accomplish, you're actually 96% more likely to accomplish it.
100%, Arlene, because you're now committed to the audience and you have to do it. You cannot sit back.
Correct.
So commit to something where other people has to follow you and be committed to that.
Okay.
And
great.
I just want to finish off the definition of commitment. The chicken is not committed to lay the egg, but the pig gave his life to become a piece of bacon. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for signing on. It's 11 o'clock and we try to be on time. So we're going to log out. But I just want to say thank you to all of the people who are part of our mastermind group. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you to you, our listeners, and to those of you who made comments. I'm sorry I wasn't able to remark on some of the comments because I couldn't see some of the Facebook comments, but we are going to stream it live. So you'll be able to comment in the comments box later on. So thank you again. Please join us next week, Thursday at 1 o'clock if you're on Eastern Standard Time, and at what time is it, Dr. Kim? If we're
10.
on PST,
10 on the West Coast.
time for
Yeah.
PST, 10 to 11. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
once again, make sure you join, even if you're not a part of our mastermind group. Partner with somebody who can help you to achieve your goals and dreams in the world. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.